Hey guys, so you're looking at the app that you're creating for the chapter at the end of the chapter assignment for chapter 12. So it should look really similar to you because this is something that you can build upon Apply 5 you've done before. And so you can see here, it allows a user to select a categorical variable and numeric variable, right? And then depending on the choice of the variables, the category here updates. So for example, currently the initial categorical variable is sex, but if you select division, the categories updates here, right? And then you select the categories. And the same thing here, you can select numeric variables, and then the minimum value here updates, okay? And then hit apply changes. It gives you a plot of school types, right? So this is the assignment, but I'm going to show you how to build one without this numeric variable portion. All right. And then you will complete the assignment by adding this numeric variable portion. All right. Let's get going. Go to File, Shiny Web App, name it Apply7, hit Browse, and select Chapter 12, and hit Open, Create. Now we have Apply7 folder, and inside we have this default app.r file, and we're going to delete everything. And then we're going to go to Apply 5, and we're going to copy this, and we're going to build upon this app. Okay. Select all, Control C, and Control V. All right. And this app, Apply 5. All right. So Apply 5 looks like this. And as you remember, it's a multi-page app, right? So here in Divisions Comparisons and Division 1 tab, this is what it looks like, right? And you hit this action button, it generates this plot. Okay, and we're gonna change the layout to single page layout, sidebar layout, right? So this we're gonna revise it to this app here, right? Sidebar layout. So on the left we have a thinner panel, and on the right we have a wider panel for output, right? Again, I'm gonna create the app without numeric variable portion, and you are going to complete it. By adding numeric variable portion, right? Okay. So, so let's close this app. And all right. So let's change the layout. So here's a UI, right? So you can see that it's using navbar page function here. So UI fluid page and sidebar layout, right? And then we have sidebar panel function for inputs, and then we have main panel function for output, right? So we're gonna use this. So for example, the theme, we're gonna have theme here, and also, right? So let's copy this theme, right? Darkly theme, right? And for inputs, so these are inputs. We're gonna put it here, right? And output, this is plot output. We'll go to main panel, right? Why do we have? Okay, yeah, that went away. All right, so let's just for now comment this out. What do we have X here? Unexpected closing parentheses. All right, so this, oh, all right, we have one more. When I copy and paste this plot output function here, um, yeah, I have one more closing parenthesis here. So it went away. So this matches this, right? This matches this. They're highlighted. This matches that, and this matches this fluid page function, right? Good. So let's check. There you go. So yep, we have um, very good, right? Thinner panel, wider panel. It's a single page sidebar layout, right? And what we need to add here is we need to add a select input function so that, I mean, right now it's only gender variable that the user can have control over, but we want to add a select input function so that the user can select, um, can change gender variable to other categorical variable, right? So in order to do that, we also need to use observe event function to update this category, right? The app should update these categories depending on the categorical variable that the user chooses, right? Okay, but before that, because we're using all the variables from the data set, unlike Apply5, in Apply5 we only use maybe 3 variables, right? Um, so we need to do some data cleaning. All right. So let's check our uh, data more closely, right? So we don't need this anymore, right? And let's close the app and let's import the data in the environment. And we want to examine our data here. Um, okay. So we have all the variables here. Um, and then what I notice, I mean, this is something that I haven't noticed in the past. I should have looked at the data set more closely, but um, the row here does not represent teams, right? NCAA college teams. The row here seems to represent person. So there's a name variable. So for example, row number 1. So Claudia Garcia is a swimmer from Adams State University, and this is swimming record, right? And so Claudia is female, and the team belongs to Division 3. Claudia is sophomore, and her rank, I believe, um, and her age, public. So this is about college, whether college is public or private. Type is also a characteristic of the college. So what we noticed here is we do not need person specific and event. There's also event here, 50, free. So there are different types of events, right? So the plot we're creating is types of university. How many types of universities are there in Division 1, Division 2, right? So we only need team specific information, right? So the first thing we're going to do, so we do not need to do this because we're keeping all divisions, not just Division 1. So the first thing we want to do is remove person, person and event specific variables and keep only team information. So here, um, we need team variable because that is the college name, team. And so sex, right? So we need to know whether it's, yeah, actually, I'm not really sure whether the swimming team is co-ed, um, or is there a division between gender, male team and female team. I'm gonna assume that they're male team and female team. So I'm gonna keep it this sex variable, right? Considering this as team characteristic and division and public and type. Again, I'm keeping only team information. Tuition. tuition in, tuition out, how many students, enrollment, whether it's a big university or a small university, right? Region, region, and address. Yeah, that would be too. Looks like it's a city and state. Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna just keep it here, region, like that. Okay. So if you execute this, and then let's skim it. Data clean, skim R, skim. So you note that there are 112,704 rows and 9 columns, and all 9 columns are character. So under character, team, sex, division, public, type, and tuition. So in-state tuition, out-of-state tuition. So that's resident and non-resident tuition, right? Enrollment. Um, so region. So you can see that there's something odd here. So tuition and enrollment, those are numbers. They should be numeric data, right? So if you were to look at data clean, um, so tuition in, tuition out. So you can see why this is incorrectly imported as character because of the $ and comma. So we need to clean this and convert it to numeric variable. And enrollment, the same here. There's a comma, right? So a good function for this. So we need to do this. So convert numeric variables incorrectly imported as character. So for this, mutate across. So it is tuition in, tuition out, and enrollment. And we want to apply parse number. So we're going to apply this parse number function across all 3 variables here. So let's execute this. So we have some warnings here. So line 8357. So 1,730 parsing failures. Expected a number, but there wasn't a number. So if you were to see what happened, so let's, instead of data clean, let's look at data, right? And you want to see tuition in, for example, and slice this number 8357 through 8361. Oh, I misspelled new tuition to tuition in. Right. So there's no number. It's NA, right? So that's why it's complaining, right? There's a parsing failure because there was no number, right? So that will be fine. So if you look at data clean now, tuition, tuition out, they look fine here, right? So if you look at data clean, we have these attributes, and so it kept information regarding the parsing operation. But if you look at the new tuition in, it's number now instead of character, right? The same way tuition out, enrollment, right? So it looks good now. So now if you look at it, row number 1, it's Adam State. There's a female team, belongs to division, is it division 2? And it's a public university, regional university for the type. In-state tuition is 9,440, and very good. Now the thing is, after we removed person-specific, event-specific columns, we have lots of duplicates here. So row number 1, row number 2, 3, they're all exactly same because they're all team specific information, right? So we need to remove these duplicates. So remove duplicates. So use distinct function. So now we execute this. Note that data clean is only 997 rows versus more than 112,000 rows, right? So now if you look at data clean, row number 1 and row number 2, they're not same, right? They're not same. Row number 1 is Adam State. Row number 2 is Adelphi. So row number 2 and 3, it's both Adelphi college or university, but they're not the same because we have female and male, right? Female team and male team. All right. All right. So one last thing I want to check is I'm expecting um, 1 or 2 rows for each team, right? Assuming that uh, a college can have a male team and female team, right? So let's see, data clean, count, and team, and we want to sort it. Let's see. Whoa. Uh, okay. So Mammoth. So again, there's one. There are 5 universities showing up more than twice, right? So, for example, New Mexico showing up 3 times. Is it Monmouth showing up 4 times? Pacific also showing up 4 times. So let's see what's going on. So we do this and then filter n greater than 2, right? So greater than 2 will be that. And then let's select or pull teams. Then we have these universities. Um, so let's save this colleges showing up more than 2, alt dash. So in data clean, let's filter for team. All right. You know what? I don't like data being printed like that. Yeah, that's because we use read.csv function. Read underscore CSV is more modern function and it prints the data more efficiently because it imports the data in a table format. So I'm going to do that. And it should be a lot faster to import the data as well. Control Enter. And there you go. It looks a lot better, right? So if we were to look at Monmouth or Pacific University, so there again, male, female, male, female. Oh, that's because the university has teams in different divisions. Yeah, so there's no mistakes or errors. Yeah, some universities have teams in different divisions. All right. Okay. So that's good. So yeah, I think that is it for yeah. So let's just skim and double check. Right. So 3 variables showing up under numeric variables: tuition in, tuition out, enrollment. Right. So the most expensive universities. Um, it's interesting. Um, tuition in-state tuition, out-of-state tuition, the maximum value is the same, 59,430. That's probably for private institutions, right? Um, the minimum is 0. Okay. So there's some free universities? Hmm. Okay. That's not something I expected. All right. And enrollment, the largest university in terms of enrollment is 53,065 students, and the smallest one is 319 students. I'm sorry. All right. And for character variables, team, sex, division, public, type, and region. All right. So we have cleaned the data, and let's just run the app to make sure that there's no errors before we move on to the next stage. All right. Okay. So there seems to be no errors. So far, so good. Now we want to add select input function that allows the user to select variable, right? Okay. So we do not need this. So we're going to add select input. So select input. So let's say variable categorical, variable cat, and the label. So let's check categorical variable, right? And the initial value is sex. Oh, and also the choices, right? So categorical variables that we want to include. Sex, division, public, region. So, right, so maybe I'm going to put it here. Variables, cat, sex, how is it? Division, public, region. Okay, and numeric. So maybe we spell it out, not to get confused with this input ID. So tuition in, tuition out, enrollment. Okay. So here for choices, it'll be categorical, selected, sex. That's the initial value, and make sure that you put comma. And we need here that should update, right? Depending on the choice of categorical variable, and that for that we're using observe event. So input. So once user selects this categorical variable, right? So var cat. We're gonna add, right, update checkbox group input, right? So update checkbox group input, right? Um, so let's take a look at this function. This function update checkbox group input. So the first argument is session, but the default value is given. Input ID is mandatory because it has no default value assigned, and it has these arguments, and we want to update this choices argument, right? So um, input ID is, what's the input ID for checkbox input, group input, gender. So it's gender, and we want to update choices. So hit tab, choices, and the choices will be whatever whatever um, categorical variable that the user chose, right? So basically, what we want to put here is something like this, right? So data clean, and uh, so let's say sex, right? And what is the value? Cool. Oh, so unique. All right. So what we want here is pool. So I'll show you what it looks like. Pool looks like this. It gives value in all rows, and we're gonna take out or extract unique values, which is FNM, right? So that is what we want to provide here for choices. Um, Now the variable sex, we need to um, we need to replace it with input $, and input ID, right? So here we're gonna do data clean, and input $input ID is, yeah, var cat, right? And then um, unique, right? Okay, so let's test this. Run app. All right, so let's change this to division. Very good. Okay, so the plot doesn't change, meaning that we need to revise the reactive value. But so far, this categories updates correctly. Okay, so that's good. All right, now we need to update the reactive values here. So in the reactive value, um, here, this is the part that needs to update, right? So it's not just sex equals whatever the category in the sex, right? Because this changes. The sex here changes depending on the user's choice. So this should be right. Now, we learned that this doesn't work, right, in data masking functions like filter here. So for that, it's a bracket and dot data, and then this, uh, the category, right? So that category should be um, gender. So it is already gender. Right. So let's run. Okay. Select female. There you go. What if we change to division? Division 2. Very good. Public. Yes, public universities. Yep. It seems to be working very well. New England. Yep. Um, Wonderful. So now, oh, by the way, so I think, right. So the title here, right. So I need to revise, I need to add the title of the app, NCAA Swimming Programs Makeup, and school types in the plot. Division 1, we need to drop Division 1. just school types. And we need to add the title tab uh, title. NCAA swimming programs makeup. So reload. So this is, it's not title. Hold on. Is it title panel? Reload. There you go. All right. And then the plot title, school types. Very good. Okay. So now you're going to continue without me and add this numeric portion of the app. Okay. And that will be your assignment for this chapter. All right. Have fun.